Carl Sagan once said, "Humans are like butterflies who flutter for one day and think that it's forever." This was the starting line in the film The Sun is Also a Star, from which I heard this phrase. I loved that movie. Since then, it got me thinking, why do we take the future for granted when all what we've been granted is that breath? Why, when we are in agony and pain in all the dark places, we think it's going to be like this forever? Why do we have such a short-sighted perspective, as if we are unable to know anything beyond this moment? I didn't have all the answers, honestly. I'm not sure if it's our nature or it's how we've been conditioned. But I wanted a piece from myself to look back on. I documented my emotions as I was graduating high school. I filmed all the fear, the excitement, the loss, and more of embarking on a new chapter. I wanted to film all the withering ups and downs, and to have proof of how temporary feelings are and how change is the only ruler. But then I found one question that tormented me all along this period and still haunts me now. Should I choose my present self over my future self? Should I sacrifice my temporary pleasure for a better future? Or should I just indulge in the pleasures of the present moment, and then what's mine will flow in, will find me on that path? Or maybe we shall cherish both. I don't know how to describe it. You know, like when you are living through a moment and it's like you can see already that you're gonna be having nostalgia for that moment in the future? I think that this is exactly what I was feeling yesterday. I actually went yesterday, probably around 5 p.m. to the library to actually pick up some books to borrow for the spring break because I want to read a lot in the spring break. And I remember I actually was coming back on a motorcycle with my father, and I remember I was just like having like the whole wind like play up on my face, and there was just like certain quietness and serenity in the air that I really did appreciate, and I just really felt very tranquil in a way. I just really felt like, wow, this is genuinely a moment I will like remember from my teenagehood, you know? Like something that I will remember from my home country. I do believe in one way or another. Even though it's such a mundane and simple thing, and you're like, yeah, like this moment is gonna definitely be something I will remember in the future, you know, because it's so beautiful. I think that for such a long time, I didn't really stay up all night for quite a long time because it's either like I had school or I had summer jobs too. So it was really hard for me to like stay up all night because I just really didn't want to be sleepy the next day. As it really made me feel very not good in my body to like not have enough sleep. And I just really felt like that's so unkind to my body. And so I remember yesterday I really just was kind of excited about all the things I can do at night. Yesterday I was making for myself like a little night snack, and I actually got a comic book from the library and I started reading it, and it felt so good. I think the emotions are excited, kinda anxious, future nostalgia. So yeah, this is day one. I actually accidentally found my old Instagram that I never thought I would be able to get access to, but for some reason, somehow I was able to. And this is my Instagram when I was like, I believe from 15 to 16, right? One feeling that really stood out for me is I felt a little bit like lost potential a little bit. I was actually going up through like this conversation with this one girl like I used to be friends with. I actually was telling her right there that, you know, like I have big dreams and like I want to do this and I want to do that. How I really would love to, you know, improve my situation, everything. And this is like back when I was 16. I just look at my life right now and I feel like it's not that much different from when I was 16. Even though when I was 16, I really didn't have that much of an idea about what I actually wanted to do with my life. For some reason, I still really felt like I kind of like didn't change up enough or didn't really like hold up to what my 16-year-old self wanted, because I remember I would actually even like go and make videos about my 18 years old, like how they live in, what kind of friends they have, what are they doing in their life, all of those things, right? And I know that I shouldn't really be setting a lot of pressure on myself. I mean, after all, I was just 16, and this is what everybody does at 16, dreaming big and, having all of these plans for life. I also really like had a lot of emotions about my teenagehood, because I feel like my teenagehood didn't really go the way that I wanted it to go, I guess. And it was, in a lot of moments, traumatizing, to be honest. Like, as soon as I actually woke up the next day, like today, I tried to actually just tell myself and see what is the number one thing that I would love to see materializing in myself and materializing in my reality 3 months from now. So basically like in June 2023. And you probably would be like, oh, why 3 months? Like, that's so specific or whatever. And that means something to me, because in 3 months I will actually be finishing up my high school. I really have a lot of plans, for after high school, and I believe in them, but like at the same time they're not exactly the traditional path. So I'm kind of scared at the same time, I think, but also I'm really excited because of this new chapter of my life. But at the same time, today I really feel like it didn't really go as well as I wanted to, if I'm gonna be honest. I felt like, like those things that I talked to you about, like those existential feelings, and just really feeling like you're not doing a lot. Well, they kind of came back and they daunted me today a little bit, and I just really felt like I was not doing too much, I guess, with my life. I think that right now, the way I'm really like trying to go about it is to plan out things I would love to do, and to really like have a little bit of like a clear purpose for myself. I just really hate it when like I just finish up a day and I just feel like, oh, I haven't done a lot today. Like, that's just such an annoying feeling, I swear to you. I really had a lot of emotions yesterday of feeling like my life is not interesting. Like, it's just so fucking boring and dull. Like, I don't really go anywhere, and that's just because I'm not interested in going anywhere. Like, my city is like a very industrial place, so it's like it's the most boring place on earth, and I'm like literally not even kidding. It's like so boring. There's only like, I don't know, cafes, and that's it. There isn't even events. There's just scarcity, I feel, of like cultural events in here. But yeah, for that I just really felt like, wow, like I'm literally like just spending every day in my room. This is not life, you know what I mean? I really just miss being social and just going out and everything. I really found myself in the past, I don't know, 4 months since I actually bought my camera, super passionate about filming and editing and just like this whole world, like actually just creating an experience, I guess. I was just really saying to myself, like, you have the time right now to be able to do that. You don't have anywhere to go. Like, like this is the best way to literally just go and like explore your creativity in this domain. So this is what I'm telling myself. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna probably spend the whole day in my room just editing, filming, just doing some creative stuff. But at the same time, I don't really need to see it as fucking depressing. I can also see it as like a creative retreat, you know what I mean, for myself. I really hate to use the word like get out of my comfort zone, because I don't like to force myself to get out of my comfort zone. Like, if I'm fine with my comfort zone, I want to stay in my comfort zone. But like, it's like if there is something that I want to do and it's like a little bit risque, I would love to still do it, you know what I mean? Yeah, like I don't really want to force myself to do things I don't feel like doing just because, oh, let's get out of our comfort zone. Like, this is just dumb to me. Like, I just would love to be able to do whatever I want, and not be held back by fears as much as I could, you know what I mean? It's 2 p.m. o'clock, and it actually has been multiple days, numerous days, since I actually didn't do this. Why? Every day I literally just feel like I didn't like have the energy enough to like just go and talk about what I was going through. So I was just like, well, gotta respect that for myself, you know what I mean? So let's talk, let's catch up. if we're gonna be honest, the spring break actually didn't go as well as I wanted it to go, honestly. And although I salute myself and I hug myself so much, tightly, because I was actually trying to improve every single day. And I think that this is something like so beautiful about me. And I think that this is the best quality about me among so many, obviously. But I think like the best quality about me is that since like 15, I remember like I embarked on like this personal growth journey. I was constantly busting my puss, busting my puss, you know, trying to actually improve. The reason why spring break didn't really go that well is simply because I have a dilemma in my head. Every day I wake up, I'm like, should I do stuff that I truly enjoy but don't necessarily have an end purpose? Or should I actually just go and do stuff that are very purposeful, you know what I mean? That I know at the end of the day, at the end of the month, whatever, I'll be like, damn, I did these things, but I don't necessarily enjoy that moment. Should I choose my present self? Should I choose my future self? Every day, I'm like, what should I do? I don't know if like you're supposed to incorporate both, which is probably what I got to understand lately more, I guess, is that like incorporating both of these things is gonna be really great for you, I guess. This is what I'm trying to do right now. I'm just trying to find a way of living that actually I can sustain myself, of living every single day, that I can do every single day and I will be like loving life and still feeling like I'm not lost, you know what I mean? Because honestly, I think that at the beginning, because I'm a nihilist, you know what I mean? And I'm very aware at every single minute of the day that there is no fucking purpose. Shut up. That there is no fucking purpose in this world. I think that it's really hard sometimes for me to indulge myself into a purpose because I'm like, there is no fucking purpose. Like, bestie, what are you doing? Why do I have to choose? Like, why do I have to choose? Who told me to choose? I don't have to choose. I can literally just be having like intrinsic and extrinsic motivations for what I do in every single day. So that's just what I try to do today. I was just like, okay, so how can I actually do things that I'm actually enjoying at the moment, but still they have this end thing, this end goal that they actually like contribute later on to the things that I would love to achieve later down the line in my life, you know? And I was just like talking to myself, obviously, you know, which is a hobby of mine among many, obviously. And I was just kind of like really kind of like writing down like a schedule for myself, because here's the thing. At the end of this week, we are gonna come back to high school, okay? So this is gonna be my last 2 months and a half of high school, pretty much. And if you know anything about me and high school exhausts me mentally, you know what I mean? And you might be asking like, oh, so like why are you still in that place? Because it's high school. Every day I'm just realizing that this is gonna be like my last days of high school, right? Like I'm never gonna be in this position ever again. And so I really just would love to be able to actually just make the most of that experience. And especially like the subject that we are studying about and everything, I really would love to try my best to master up some sort of knowledge in those subjects and to just be able to enjoy that little like teenagehood, you know, thing when you're like, you know, still dreaming about the world, you know, like that kind of like beautiful teenagehood dreams, you know. Like I still really would love to be able to live that chapter of my life and not like burn steps too, you know. So that's just what I've been trying to do too. So these are like all like the two things I really do care about. And so I was like, what should I do? Well, I actually realized that I actually tend to be much more like satisfied when I do the things that I care about the most in the beginning of the day, you know what I mean? I really like have this thing where it's like if I'm like midway through the day and I just feel like I cannot recall anything that I did or achieved that day that is significant enough, I will not have motivation to continue my day. This is what's been going on for me, pretty much just like figuring out a way to incorporate these two forces together and to just feel good, in my skin. Today I actually just woke up from a nightmare. I just woke up from a nightmare, and honestly the nightmare was so weird, if I'm gonna be honest, and I didn't even understand what's like the whole meaning of the nightmare even. It was exhausted. I just woke up exhausted, like mentally exhausted. I was like, what did I just witness? Why did I have to go through all of this? And I swear to you, every single time, like my dreams are so elaborate, it feels like I'm living while I'm dreaming. You know, it's so annoying because I wanna sleep because I'm exhausted of my life, and then later on I just find myself into another life where it's like the whole plot, girl, like whatever is doing my dreams, they are super invested. Like they have like a whole plot line, you know, scene one, scene two, like it's a whole movie. It's a whole movie that is going on. I don't really want to tell about the dream because it's very personal, but I just felt like someone did me wrong in a dream and I didn't do anything about it. And I just woke up and I was like, why didn't I do anything about it? And I just felt like as if I am like mad at someone that did me dirty in my dream. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like everyone is kind of like conflicted about it. I do believe like some people really just say like, oh, dreams like have significance, and some other people will be like, oh, it's just like from your like subconscious and this is just what happens when you dream, right? I don't know where I stand, honestly. I don't know if you watched The Good Doctor, but The Good Doctor is like my favorite show. I really, really love that show so much because they always incorporate like adult conversation, you know? I just really love the problem solving in there, the way that it's like, they just like always define the it's like so intriguing and really just like super, super interesting to like watch that. And I just really think that like the ethical problems that they actually like put into the show, you know, and like the relationships that they have together in that show, it just feels like real life and it just feels very mature and interesting every single time. So I was just watching that and I just realized about how so many of the characters there are so strong mentally, like they're just genuinely strong mentally. And I think that I was inspired yesterday to just be more strong mentally, you know what I mean? Because I usually am that type of person sometimes. When there is like a problem that like annoys me, I would just feel like very annoyed, you know, that there is a problem in the first place. I'm like, damn, like I worked so hard for this shit, you know what I mean? And then later on there is a problem that probably will make all of this swept away, you know? And I think that I really would love to be more of like the mindset, okay, you know, I worked really hard for this and there is a problem, so how can we actually solve this, you know? How can I make this better? You know, always like have this mindset of like, yeah, this happened, but also I am really confident in myself that I will able to figure it out along the way. To like have that trust in myself is what I'm trying to cultivate. Hi, hello. Let me tell you about yesterday. I just got out of the shower and I was like, we gotta talk. You remember like all of that plan that I told you about, like, you know, in the day, like doing this, like doing either studying or like doing creative work? Well, I kind of tossed it out the window. I just go and like toss out, like on my computer or like on paper, every single thing that I am excited to do today. And then usually I actually come up with like at least 10 items of things that I want to do for the day. And so later on I just go and like sort through them. I really like try to plan them out through the day, depending on my energy levels, like, or like when I really feel like doing those things, right? And I usually end up with really good plans. And yesterday, it was such a really good plan, honestly, you know? I actually did yoga in the morning, which was super, super, super good, honestly, oh my god. And afterwards, I actually like was doing some brainstorming and like also some studying. And later on, I learned some Italian, I danced. What else? Then later on, also I did some editing and I watched The Good Doctor, you know? And I know that wasn't like probably a lot of things, like I didn't do a lot of things of like productive stuff or whatever, but either ways I enjoyed my time so much, bitch, and I will never regret it, you know? And especially the Italian that I learned yesterday, oh my god, I literally can remember every single word that you can tell me right now. Sono molto carina, divertente, intelligente, sexy y generalmente una persona fantástica. You see? Progress. This is when you go on vacation with like some sort of like agency or like some sort of group and they have like this whole plan for you. You are never like, oh my god, girl, I'm literally just going into this like field trip, whatever, and like we have all of these things to do, whatever. You're not like that. You're like, oh my god, I'm super excited because this is gonna be fun. This is like a sort of vacation in here, right? I think that this is how I really just see it in here too. It's like, this is really exciting, you know, because I'm really just doing this and approaching this from a pleasure perspective, right? But yeah, this has really just reminded me of how I felt during the summer. um, I don't know, like this is when I really like discovered this way of like planning, but then later on I was like, I don't know, I'm coming back to high school, I'm probably gonna have a lot of things to do, so this is probably not gonna work. But honestly, I think it's gonna work, you know? And it's working right now, so yeah. It really just reminds you of how beautiful life is and just how cool it is to just do stuff like that, you know what I mean? Like without any ulterior motive, just like to do stuff. Today is the last day of spring break. Tomorrow we're gonna come back to high school, and I am pretty much gonna have my last month of high school in April. So much has happened, and at the same time, it just feels so surreal. I think to be honest, the pandemic really had to do a lot with it as well because, like, in my first year of freshman year, I literally like only studied probably like until like February or something. That's it. And then later on, we literally just like stayed at home. That's just pretty much it. You know, like we didn't finish up like 4 months of freshman year, right? The second year of high school, I actually went one day to high school and then like another day I stayed at home so that like the high school will not be very populated with like students and everything. The third year of high school, there were a lot of strikes, a lot of them, and many times just like issues with the pandemic. And then later on, my senior year, I think that everything went pretty smoothly, to be honest, and I think that's just because it's senior year. So usually when you are senior year, because it's like your final year of high school, you don't give a shit about whatever is going on like out there in the country. You just go and study and that's it because you know like you have a national exam later on. You're really gonna go to college afterwards. So this is what like you care about, right? I really feel like there was just like so many changes like on the personal level for me, like since me in freshman year until right now, like in the way that I think, in my views about the world, just like in my mental health a lot, to be honest, and the things that I want and the things that I don't. Like I just really discovered myself a lot during high school time. Probably like to be honest, more bad moments than good moments, if I'm gonna be honest. High school time, like I would have never expected in a million years there would be all of these things happening up. And I think that for such a long time I just really wanted high school just be over, like this whole like phase of my life to just be over and to just get done with it, especially in this year basically. I think that I really took notice before I got into senior year about how this is gonna be my last year of high school, and I really tried to anchor myself and just be present in a lot of times during the sessions, because I was like, okay, so if you really gotta go through high school, like let me just enjoy it as much as I could, you know, try to not focus on the negative as much. And I think that that definitely really worked in a lot of ways, even though things were hard. I just realized I will never be like in this time of my life and in high school again. And I was like, I want to enjoy that for as much as I can. So it just feels crazy to me. I absolutely feel crazy that I'm gonna be like in the last month of high school. Like, I don't know, I cannot process that. I think that sometimes this is what happens to me. It's like, when I'm going through like things like that, I cannot process them while they are happening. Many times I need like 3 months after to be like, yeah, you know, like that's when I can understand, you know, like the severity of what's happening up, you know. Unfortunately, we don't really like have any prom or anything in my country. Like we don't do that shit. We have other things, you know, like as a high school stuff, but like not prom. We don't do prom in here. And honestly, my high school is quite boring. Like there is literally nothing. Like you just go and study, get your high school graduation, just go. We don't even like have a high school graduation. This is the thing. We don't have anything. There's just like how much boring my high school is. Like it's so boring. Like there's just nothing to do there. Like even the clubs are just. I don't see any activity. I don't see any like events. I don't see anything. There's just nothing happening up. I don't know if this is because of the pandemic or whatever, but there's just like absolutely nothing happening up. Like I swear to you. Like unless you have like friends and like you make plans, which even in this case, sometimes it doesn't even happen because everyone's just like so busy with studying whatever. But other than that, there's just like nothing. Like, from one way, I'm like, well, I'm really excited to move on to this next chapter of my life, but at the same time, I really have a pretty clear idea about what I want to do, but at the same time, I don't know how things will work out. Like, I just absolutely have no idea about how to make things work out. Like, I'm working towards them, but like, the path to how to make them come true is not really clear yet. You know what I mean? Because I don't want to take the traditional path. I really don't. You know, yesterday and today I've been just kind of like trying to just like anchor that, just be like having like a little bit of a plans for like what I want to do for like in this last 2 months and a half of high school. You know, working towards my side things, like my passions that I really hope that after high school I can turn into something like YouTube, for example, and just other things between, just not only YouTube. Like YouTube is only the start, babe. There's just a lot of things coming for me that I really, really would love to partake in. I feel like I'm literally gonna cry. Anyways. So today is Wednesday, so I just really like had my last 2 days of high school. Like today is like the third day, whatever, coming back. I remember on Monday I was just sitting in math class and we got our math exams back and it wasn't exactly a very good grade. And I actually remember that I felt a bit disappointed because even though I didn't exactly have it really well, but I actually was expecting quite a higher grade than this, like, and that was the same feeling that I got yesterday too with my science exam. It's like I got the results back and I was like, oh, I was just, hmm, this is what I think that the answer is. And then I just like wrote out the answer like that. Actually turned out to be like all right, like almost all right, like literally all correct. And the parts where I was just kind of like worrying up a little bit and I was like, okay, like this shit I'm like supposed to know and everything, and I was just kind of like a little bit stressed out about it, whatever. I actually ended up, even if I ended up answering them, they ended up all being wrong. I'm like, bro, I just ended up making some mistakes somehow, and it just like ended up being wrong. Especially in math, it's like you can just like make mistake like one in there, and it's like boom, you're wrong. I got to realize something. I was like, hold up. Wait a damn minute in here. Wait a damn minute. If you really would love to know more about it, I actually made a video about conditional love and how it really affected me in so many ways. But I just realized that every single time I had a pressure, whether it was internal or external, and I just like hold myself to that standard almost, I just always ended up like performing really bad, like really fucking bad. And every single time I was just super chill and I just couldn't care less. And I just did what I genuinely thought was right and I trusted myself. It ended up to be true. And I was like, bro. When I was in my sophomore year, there was like this opportunity, like there was this exchange program to actually study like abroad, I do believe, like in many countries, like for the last 2 years of your high school. And I was actually a finalist over there. And I remember the very two stages like of selection, when I actually did like the application and the interview. I was so carefree about it because I was just like, whatever. What are the odds of them picking me up? Like they would probably not pick me up anyways. Even though I really think that I did such great applications and everything. And I swear to you, when I actually did the applications, I genuinely couldn't care less about what they think. That first idea I got, I just wrote it down. Like I didn't even overthink it. I was like, oh, that's it. I really didn't care less. But then later on, once I was accepted as one of the finalists, I was like, okay, so this is something. And I really just ended up telling my parents because at the beginning when I actually like applied, I didn't even tell them because I was just like, whatever, probably I'm not gonna even get accepted. And in the finalist like phase, I was just like so like caught up because I was just like, well, this could actually turn into something. I really just like started to watch a lot of vlogs of people that like went into that exchange program, like how their lives are, and I really started to like overthink about it a lot, I guess, in a way. Like there were two girls out of like 1,000 people that applied. The two girls that actually like got the scholarship to be able to like get into this exchange program, they couldn't care less. They didn't tell none of their friends, they didn't tell none of their family, they didn't tell nobody. You know what I mean? One girl was literally like applying for 2 or 3 programs. She was like, whatever, like if it was meant to be, it will just be, you know what I mean? She was so carefree, like she couldn't care less. I'm just gonna try my best every day. I'm not gonna really go and overthink a lot about the future and what it might be and everything. And honestly, it was such a very, very liberating feeling. Today even I'm gonna go and donate some of my books on the shelves, and I really like have other books too,
to my high school library because I was just like, why not? You know, that can be a really fun thing, you know, to do. I'm in my senior year, and I just thought that that would be really such a beautiful act of kindness to just give some books, you know, to there. I guess this is just how I would love to leave my footprint by books there, you know? I'm not really sure if I like this one. I'm not really the biggest fan of like fantasy and like sci-fi and everything, and this is like pure sci-fi. So I don't know. I really hope that someone else will appreciate this. And it's such a very graphic book. Like it's such a beautiful book. So I just really hope someone will pick it up and will be like, damn, you know. I remember I read this book and I wasn't entirely sure what it actually meant. I don't know if I want to donate it because I kind of love it too much. Even though like I didn't fully understand it, but I still love it. Oh my god, I absolutely love this one. I should probably donate it. Yeah. I should definitely donate this one too. This is like again one of those like sci-fi books, and I'm not super into them, so yeah. Alright. Wow, I really got a lot of books actually. I really tried to get books that I really liked, you know what I mean? But like also books that I really, really like, I couldn't really give them out because they're just my babies. But just ones I like really think they are genuinely good, but I just think that they are not my type of books, you know what I mean? And that was really fun to do. Anyways, now I gotta fucking figure out how I'm fucking gonna pack all of these. I've never donated anything before, and I think that I found myself reinvented as a new person almost in my head. I think that's because the people that I met in the library for like a few days ago, I've never really seen before or like I had any encounters with, and I felt like I could like I don't know, reinvent myself almost in a way as like this whole new improved persona of me, like this whole new version of me. And it was such a very interesting and fun experience to be honest, because I feel like most of the people that like I interact with on a daily basis are like already people that I know, but it's like when you have these kind of interactions with strangers and it's like you can like completely rewrite the story of like how the social image is in their own minds is a very interesting experience actually. If anything, I didn't feel like I lost anything to be honest. I felt like I gained, and I had this little idea of this teacher who was the responsible of the library to put my name on like a little note on the books, and I wrote this book is from a guy called Hakim who is a bookworm, and I said I hope you enjoy reading it, and sometimes I actually added because I did and just like a smiley face. I wanted to like actually add something a little bit extra because I'm extra. And at the end, I hope that you came up with an answer of your own to my question. As with everything in this life, I believe there is no right or wrong, just what we believe. And I hope that this video will remind you, if you are going through tough times, that everything is temporary, your pain is temporary, what you're living through is temporary, and change is the only constant all along. Love and peace.